So, welcome to our review of the fourth week of the interclub races of the Triathlon England Northwest Swift League. Apologies for the delay in getting it out to you, but hopefully you're really enjoying it, settling into the races, and we think we've got a few exciting tweaks to come for the next couple of weeks. So, very quickly, let's have a look at where we're up to in this 2024 series. First of all, I want to make some special mentions. These are mentions that the captains have shared with me when they've been sharing the results. So if you're not getting any mentions here, captains, please do send in any comments that you have or any news that you've got. So Susie from Wire, with a fractured scaphoid ulnar and radius, and still scored 36 points in racing that week. So well done, Susie. Phil from Wire was hit by a car. Or hot by a car, was hit by a car at the weekend but still rode and scored 52.5 points. Phil, you must be old enough to know better, but some of you appear to be going outside and cycling, which is obviously unusual for a Zwift rider. Also, some of the female riders who did particularly well in the Wire and Rochdale races, Amelia, Bethany and Ella for Wire, collectively made a big contribution to their team. Similarly, Fiona, Claire and Jenny likewise. And then I have to make a special mention of A. Druggan from Lancaster, who was the only Lancaster rider taking part this week. And he took on the Might of Chorley entirely by himself and managed to come in second on his own. So well done. Congrats to you. We also need to recognise or salute the power of a couple of the riders from Wire who set new FTPs in their racing. So it's great to see that not only are you having fun, but some of you are getting quicker. So Jason, Ryan and Cara, well done. And thanks for sharing that news with us. There's a lot of you taking part now. There are 343 separate riders who've raced in at least one of the races so far. And the 12 clubs have so far put up a total of 45 different teams in the series. 26,500 points scored by riders, and in this last week we had the most ever points scored with 4,295 points. So again, a massive thank you, especially to the captains who are holding it all together, but also to all of you for taking part. I hope you're enjoying it. A few more weeks to go, and then the clocks will change and we can get out on the roads. So there was a massive race between Rochdale and Wye. It's the biggest event we've ever had in our one-on-one club competition, with 13 or 14 teams actually being put up. The honours this time unusually went to Wire A, beating Rochdale A and Rochdale B into third place. But you can see that we got all the way down to Wire Team G and Rochdale Team G in this event. A huge event, and well done to the captains for coordinating such a big group. Rossendale took on Total this week. Total A coming out on top, just in front of Rossendale A, and then the B and C teams and D teams came in behind. So well done. Hope you enjoyed that race. Knutsford took on Nantwich, a slightly smaller race this time, but Knutsford A and B came out on top, with Nantwich A squeaking in ahead of Knutsford C. So again, hopefully good racing for you all. So those are the teams that are in Group A. Just looking at where we're up to this far during the series, Rochdale A are leading Group A with 92 points, Rochdale B with 82 points and Wire A with 76 points. The leading teams from the other clubs, Knutsford A have got 58, Rossendale A have got 48, Total A have got 50 and Nantwich A have got 12. Just one word of advice for you: when we get to the end of the group series, the points will compress a little bit because Group A has more total riders in it than Group B, and that distorts the results a little bit. So there will be a bit of a compression, and what that does mean is as we get towards the end, things could still change. So next week, on Tuesday the 12th of March at 7 o'clock, we have a pool race for Group A. So that means that all of the teams in Group A, all of those 6 teams, are invited to race. The race is already set up and it's in the Zwift Companion now, so you can join now. There's no need for the clubs to break themselves up into teams of 6 for this race. Let's give the captains a bit of a break from that. But we are having some special rules applied to this race with thanks to those that have made suggestions. So in this race, only the female riders' points count plus 1 male rider, which the captains must nominate to me in advance of the race. And the idea behind this is that you now have to work as a team to get your best male rider and your female riders across the line as fast as possible. Think of it like a version of a team time trial. That's what you've got to do. It's a little bit of a quirky one, and we just thought it might be a bit of fun to do something a little bit different for the pool races in Group A. Moving on to Group B, and Bolton, forgive me, but I've obviously chosen a Lakeland picture rather than a picture of Bolton for this race. Probably because I didn't have a picture of Bolton. But anyway, in the Lakeland versus Bolton race, Lakeland A and B came out on top. Bolton A and B coming in behind, with the C teams bringing up the rear. And paying homage to Chester Racecourse, in the Preston versus Chester race, it was Chester A and B that came out on top. Preston B beating Preston A, and then they had C teams coming in towards the rear as well. And then in the small Chorley versus Lancaster race, we had Chorley A and Chorley B teams managing miraculously to beat the solo rider from Lancaster. However, what we must say is that the Lancaster rider, he did come in as the second finisher in the race. So congrats to him, well done. And well done for holding up the honour of Lancaster in this race. Hopefully see a few more of you in the coming week. So in Group B, what that means is that at the moment, Lakeland A are the leading team, Chester A behind them, and Lakeland B just behind them. And the leading teams from the other clubs, Chorley A and Preston A, quite close on points. Also Bolton A, just a couple behind. And then Lancaster A, which normally has more than one rider in it, with 21 points. Again, as I said earlier, these placings the points will compress a little bit as we convert this into the final standings, just because there are more riders in Group A than Group B. And Group B, you also have a pool race next week. So if you look very carefully, you are invited to race. The race is already set up in the Zwift Companion, Tuesday the 12th of March at 7:30 p.m. And the same rules apply. No need for the captains to create teams. All the captains need to do is to send me the name of their nominated male rider before the race, because their points will count, and your job is to get them across the line as close to the front as possible. And then all of the female riders will count as well. So you may want to allocate some riders to support your female riders to get them as close to the front as possible. Hopefully you can work as teams in this one. Just a bit of fun. Good luck. And hopefully you enjoy a slightly different format, and the captain's a week off from creating these teams of 6. Okay, and then I just want to remind you of the grand finale. So on Tuesday the 19th of March at 7:30 is the mass grand finale. This is an everyone in race, so please start organising your time and getting your team members organised. Everybody's points count in this one. So we need everyone, as many people taking part as possible. It'd be great to get over 300 in the race if we possibly can do that. Captains, you need to break up your clubs into teams of 6 for this one to make it fair, and you need to get those teams to me by 7 o'clock on Tuesday the 19th. This one has double points, so it's going to really count. We double up the points in the grand finale. It's going to be a slightly longer course, using the Richmond course. It's got a couple of very tough cobble climbs in it. It's a 2-lap race, so people can see each other on the race. It's slightly tougher, and there's a couple of hills in it, because if we have a big group, we're going to have to break it up. So get yourselves organised around that. Hopefully it all makes sense to you, and thank you again for taking part.